from Columbia with the coverage you can count on. This is WIS News 10 Newswatch.
Good morning. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Ben Hoover. We are reaching the conclusion of our month-long effort to take a closer look and learn more about the homeless community. What if I were to tell you some men wear suits and ties and have jobs who spend their days on the streets? Well, this story may blur those lines that make up that stereotypical box that many of us place the homeless. No home, no car, no cash, nowhere to go. Walking is a way of life on the streets. Out here, it's not just left foot, right foot. Out here, walking reveals torn souls. Not the kind pounding the pavement. The souls broken inside people. And the way I walk, I'm told, gives me away.
When these guys see you, because of the way that you speak, because of the way that you walk, they probably think that you're an undercover agent of some sort.
My words are too clear. My walk, too confident. Posture, too straight. Old habits are hard to break for a person not really broken, just pretending to be to see what it's like and hear the stories. Speaking with Jeremy Lawhead, a social worker at Oliver Gospel Mission, I admit, living this life for 3 days alters what I thought I knew.
Already your perception of what homelessness is has been changed.
Yeah.
Because you're beginning to understand that homelessness isn't what you typically see depicted in mass media.
Good morning. How are you today? Soup's good.
The soup kitchen may be one of the most widely seen homeless images in America, perhaps because it shows desperation. Filing through, waiting for that free lunch, puts me in a place I've never seen. Rubbing elbows with a convicted sex offender unable to find work because of his past.
I'm going to put making with mama, so that limits me things I can do.
Or an out-of-work painter who can't find that backup job that went away in the recession.
How do those businesses start hiring again?
Used to be you could quit a job and go to get another the same day.
But the stories don't end there. There's more to this life than soup and a sad state of affairs. There's Eric Porterfield.
Drugs and alcohol, perpetuate a lot of these guys' problems, but that's not everybody.
From Eric, I learned everybody who eats at the soup kitchen isn't homeless. Some have hope, even if it's hope hanging by a thread.
I'm still in the same situation as them. It's just that I have a roof over my head. But the roof over my head, I don't control as far as, paying the bills.
Eric's game plan could crumble tomorrow. Painful childhood memories make staying with his parents fragile.
Well, I'm 2 steps away from being homeless because they could either decide to be like, Eric, well, you got to go, or they could pass away.
But Eric used his time at home well. He got his GED and a cosmetology certificate, but he's failed to find that first customer, a desperate feeling others can relate to out here.
As far as what's in our pockets, we're pretty much, equal.
He can't rub 2 dimes together, but you wouldn't know it, because Eric knows, even in hard times, when hope is hard to come by inside, hope on the outside is the next best thing. So that was part 3 of a month-long series that we've dedicated to looking at the homeless here in Columbia. You can watch part 1 and 2 on WISTV.com under the Hope in Hard Times section. It all comes to a conclusion this coming Tuesday when WIS and Oliver Gospel Mission host a Hope-A-Thon raising money for the mission. And joining us now is Wayne Fields. He's the CEO of Oliver Gospel Mission. Wayne, thanks so much for rejoining us. We appreciate it.
You bet. Good to be here.
We are raising money for the mission, and there are a number of things that you could use the money for. What comes top of mind for you when you think of new money coming into the mission, potentially?
Well, one, especially in this economy, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the food that we serve and everything, we don't get it as cheap as we used to. Mm-hmm. So as you saw, we serve about 250, 260 meals a day. And so it helps us to be able to buy some of the food, for one.
The food is not donated. You purchase that food with donations.
Obviously, we have individuals that come, Ben, and they donate food, but some of the food we've been able to get in the past from places because of our faith focus, we can't get some of that the way we used to be able to.
Right.
And so there's more that we have to buy. So when you're serving a meal for 150 people, sometimes a donation left over from a party may be enough to serve 10. But we have to buy food to be able to serve that many people. So one of the things is to serve meals. The other, as you've met, we have a number of staff members that work with these guys, and our focus is to develop people, not to do the microwave idea. So you met some of our quality staff members who really could make more money doing something else. But we have to be able to pay our staff to be able to do their work.
And some of the staff members, while I was staying there, said, we would love to offer more education, more classes to teach life skills and job skills and job interview skills.
Yeah, some of that, we have volunteers helping us, like with literacy and some of those kinds of things. We have building costs to run these buildings, and our corner building, the one you stayed in, that's an old building. And so it costs a little bit more sometimes to keep those kinds of buildings going than those other buildings.
And as far as room in that building, you're maxed out. There's no more room to add beds.
No, we've got 98 beds in that. And of course, we put out 32 mats when it gets cold, so we can have as many as 130. But, I mean, we are, as you saw, we're using every inch of space that we have. And which leads to another thing that we need to raise money for is that there's some things we're planning to do to try to expand our work.
Right. One of your big goals is to open a women and children's shelter.
Yeah.
Somewhere, not really close to Oliver Gospel Mission, somewhere else.
Yeah, because it's not a good idea to have the men and the women close to each other. Right. And some of that's because some of these women are in the state that they're in because of something negative that happened with a man. So you kind of want to have that in a separate location. It's a different kind of a program because women, most of the men we serve in our recovery program, they're there because of addictions. Now you met men who were in our Hand Up program who were there because of economic issues. With women, it can be anything from abuse to having children and not being able to take care of the children, that kind of thing.
And sheltering women and children is a whole different ballgame from what I understand with sheltering men. With men, you can put them in bunk beds, you can put them on mattresses on the floor, and they're fine. But when you have a mother taking care of a child, she, from what I understand, needs more of a suite situation where it's more closed off because of feeding and things like that.
One of the approaches you can take is having almost like little apartments, and we've looked at several models. Doing that, we know what we need, but you have to get a facility to be able to do that. And where you have a mother with up to 2 or 3 children sleeping in that same room. But because you have children, you also have to have space for education issues, to run a children's program while the mothers are in programs and that kind of thing. So one approach you can take is the residential approach like we have with men. There is another approach, and we're looking at that, and that is more of a community development approach, where you partner with some churches in there are certain areas of the city. Everybody knows what those areas are that are pretty beat down areas. You can kind of work with some churches and you can actually help people to transform their community. And our vision is to help to make a positive difference in the community of Columbia. And so that's another approach we're looking at, where we would actually work with the people that live there to really help them to change the way they live and to see transformation take place in a community rather than just with individuals. So there's some, but the big thing up to now we've been looking for is a facility, and we thought we had a couple of facilities that didn't work out. Those kinds of things. I'm sure something will come together soon.
Thinking of the idea of expanding your services to women and children, are you wanting to do that because there is a demand for that right now, or that you just want to be able to offer the special programs that you have at Oliver Gospel Mission to women and children? or are we seeing more and more on the streets? Because I saw very few women when I was out there.
They're kind of a hidden quantity.
Yeah.
They're out there. You didn't see a whole lot of them. You saw a lot of guys.
Yes.
You don't see them, but sometimes they might be staying with a family or friend. They might be staying in some obscure place somewhere. So women are not out there the way men are. Mm-hmm. But across the country, and I'm in contact with a lot of other rescue missions, Ben, the growing need in homelessness is women, especially women with children. And there's lots of good agencies in the city, but I know one agency said they had 16 spaces and they had 650 applicants last year. Gosh. So it's out there. The school system defines homelessness totally different than we do. There's kids that may have a house they go to, but in terms of it really being a home, it isn't. I think the biggest issue for me, Ben, is if you can work with homeless women with their children, you can help to intercept this generational homeless cycle. That is so huge, because if that's what you grow up and that's all you know, chances are you're going to reproduce that.
Well, I saw firsthand the differences that you're making in men's lives, and to be able to expand that to women and children would be a great thing. And that is why, one of the reasons why we're having the Hope-A-Thon on Tuesday, all day on WIS. Make sure you tune in. We will be raising money for the Oliver Gospel Mission here at our studios, starting very early in the morning on sunrise at 4:30, and we will go all the way to 11:30 that evening. You can call a phone bank, or you can even bring your check or money down to WIS. We'd love to see you. Wayne, thanks so much.
Thanks,
we appreciate it. And we will be right back.